Good morning. Welcome back to another YouTube. I probably shouldn't say good morning because God knows when you guys are actually watching this, but it is the morning time. It is 8:10. We have check-ins done. We have 2 coffees consumed, clearly, because look at all of this energy that's going on. And we are about to go in and we are about to train upper one, which I'm very excited for. Meg wanted a devolume session. Nadine said no. Basically, because she was kind of saying, like, look, my sleep was absolutely horrendous last night. Do you ever have one of them sleeps where you wake up every hour? I wouldn't even call it a sleep. It was more like a nap. I've had naps that were more refreshing than that. But yeah, it just was not optimal, was not ideal. But we move. So yeah, I kind of just said to her, sleep wasn't great. So she was like, oh, like, you know, like with the like isolation movements, they're all fine to do like normal volume, but like leg press, things like that. And I was like, wait. We're on upper body. I was like, I'll be fine with full volume. If it was a lower body day, I probably would have taken, yeah, like the D volume. But I was like, look, it's upper body. They don't drain me as much as a lower body session would. But pre-workout meal has gone in. I'm just waiting for that to digest a little bit more. I've already got 2 liters of water in, which also, I'm sorry, how are some people only drinking 2 liters a day or even 1 liter a day when I'm drinking that even before I have my first meal? How are you guys out there surviving? Let me know, because I honestly don't understand. Turbo pump is about to go in, which is, it's a non-stim pre-workout. It's basically just like a pump product. I do like it. It definitely gives me a good pump, 100% a turbo pump. But I'm looking for something that has more of like a nootropic in it. So something that's going to give me a little bit more focus. Not that I'm not focused in my training sessions, but I want like absolute tunnel vision. I know there's Dial In from Trained by JP, and I thought that was a non-stim, but there's like 300 milligrams of caffeine in it, and I clearly can't handle stimulants, which is why I'm full of the chats of life this morning. But updates from myself, I will pop in my check-in photos from this morning. So we are up like 2.5 kilo from where I was on show day, which was just over 2 weeks ago now. I feel like it's been longer, but I also feel like it's been less time as well. I think because like as soon as I stepped off stage, I was like, right, what's next? I didn't really even like allow myself to kind of fester in or even like reflect even on the whole season. To be honest, I'm just like, yeah, cool, that's that done. On to the next thing, which is the photo shoot, which is in 10 days, which I'm really looking forward to. But it's crazy, like in my head, right? In my head, I'm not lean. And I know that a lot of you are going to be like, what the fuck? Like, how does that make any sense that you're not lean, right? But bear with me. There were points in prep where I thought that I was like fat. Now, when I say fat, like as in like that, I just thought that I wasn't in shape and that I wasn't in stage condition. So I already knew going into the reverse, going into the post-show kind of period, that I was going to feel a certain way about clothes fitting different or seeing lines disappear and all of that crack. As much as like I want to be fuller, and yes, I want to grow and everything like that, it still fucks with your head a bit, because we have to remember, guys, I was stage lean since April and it is now August. So for my head, it's hard for my head to see anything but like stage lean, even though there were moments where I didn't feel like I was stage lean. I hope I'm making sense. And anyone who's kind of done a long season will understand what I mean when you've seen yourself be lean for so long. But overall, like, I'm really happy with how things are going. Like, I've only had 2 off-plan meals in total, if we don't count the post-show meal, which was a Nando's and a small little pizza. And I think I had like a croissant or something like that as well. But I've had a McDonald's, which not great. It tasted nice, but I was hungry like a few minutes after. And then I went to the zoo on Sunday and I had an acai bowl. So yeah, I know, very wild, I know, crazy. Oh sorry, no, I had an acai bowl, and then I had an SOS cookie. I bought 3, 2 for me, 1 for Simon for a post show for him. I had 1 and put the rest into the freezer. So yeah, I'm like, my food focus is high, I'm not gonna lie. I think about food 24/7, but that's no different to when I'm in an off season. It's just, it's a little bit louder. My food is high though. My food is like 2,600, 2,700 calories, but your gal can eat. Okay, so yeah, we're trying to hold, because obviously we have the photo shoot coming up, and as well, we don't want that body weight creeps up too fast either. So I'm kind of happy where I'm sitting at the moment. But yeah, what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to record on this camera, I'm going to record on my phone, and then what I will do is I'm going to pop the clips then into the next portion of the video. But once I finish in the gym, I'm going to try to do a sunbed. I'll see if I can get parking, and yeah, I will catch you guys up. Today is a very sit down laptop day, because the rest of my week is like pose and calls, things like that. So I need to make sure that I'm getting caught up on the sit down work before the craziness of the rest of the week. So I will pick you guys up in a bit once upper has been obliterated. What's going on? We are back from the gym. Did a sneaky sunbed. I went on a different sunbed actually, and they got new bulbs. So instead of me doing like 15-16 minutes, I only had to do like 11. So I am fully expecting to have changed race, but I'm just getting my post-workout meal together before I run you through what... Oh, hang on. There we go. Before I run you through what the session actually looked like, so I need to just get my brain function back. So we have 75 grams of cream of rice. We're running a higher food day, by the way. I have 100 grams of raspberries. I buy these frozen, and then I pop them in the microwave for 30 seconds. We also have le creamy. People ask me for creamy recipes. I'm not making anything fancy or crazy. This is literally 200 grams of almond, or 200 mils of almond milk, unsweetened, and a scoop of whey. That's it. And then I have 10 grams of nut butter to go into this, and 10 grams of dark chocolate, and then I'm going to sprinkle some cinnamon on top, and that is going to be the post-workout meal. I'll show you it once it's constructed, but I'm quite hungry. It's just gone after 11. I ate at like 7:30. I'm hungry. So not exactly optimal, because for me to have the meals evenly spaced out throughout the day, they should be like 2 hours in between each meal. I do 6 meals per day. So yeah, I do want them kind of more evenly spaced out in the day. But look, it is what it is. We're still gonna get the meals in. We're still gonna get shit done. Once I've finished eating, I need to get back onto the laptop, get back to the responses that have come back from the responses of the check-ins. And there was an issue with the booking system for pose, and it put up days that, when I say an issue, it was probably my fault. It put up days that I'm actually not here. I'm away at the photo shoot. So I need to reschedule a few people, which I fucking hate doing, but I'm not going to be here. So I will not be able to take pose and calls that day, or in and around that day. So raspberries are just going on top. The cinnamon I'm using is none other than, I don't know if you can see that, but ground sweet cinnamon from Tesco. The best. So I'll just sprinkle a little bit of this on top. Before, I remember I literally like doused my food in the cinnamon, and it actually wasn't even that nice. So yeah, this is what it looks like. It looks like a mess. It tastes fucking divine. The cream of rice that I actually used is Trained by JP cookies and cream. I actually have Strom cream of rice on the way. I actually don't even know what flavours I got, but I'm hoping that they arrive today. They've been posted though to Simon's, so I hope they arrive at Simon's, and then I think Simon's coming over tomorrow. So I'm like, I want my new flavours of cream of rice. I know that I got 2 bags, but I just can't actually remember what flavours I got. But I need to eat this because I'm literally shaking with the hunger. Okay, I've eaten, so the brain function is somewhat back. But I actually wanted to show you guys how I make my low calorie mocha. Is it mocha or mocha? I'm not sure. That coffee chocolate drink, right? So I have the Nespresso machine. I think you can see this. Yeah, I have the Nespresso machine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop in a pod, turn said Nespresso machine on. Oh no. I lost the pod even though it wasn't even used. Right. We're going to go again. So we place the pod into Nespresso machine. We click Nespresso machine on. We get our hot chocolate. This I got this in Aldi. I think it's like a caramel one as well. It is very, very nice. So I will add 3 like baby spoons to the coffee. Then I'll pop it in the fridge for a few minutes. So I'll do a bit of client work while that's in the fridge and cooling down. And then I'll pour it over some almond milk. And honestly, guys, it's better than the ones that you buy in the shop, like in the coffee shop. I'm telling you now. As well, sorry, I paid $5.55 yesterday. I can't believe this. $5.55 for an iced Americano, a drop, and when I mean like, I literally go like this with the coconut milk and sugar-free caramel syrup. What is that? What is that? And then if you want to go for something like a fancy coffee, like a mocha, whatever it's called, you're looking at a lot more. That to me is outrageous. So basically, anyway, I have I'm trying not to get this a spill, but I have the hot chocolate powder, and I'm just going to mix that in with the coffee. I'll probably do another shot of espresso in this, because I do still like there to be like a coffee taste off it. And then I'll just pop it into the fridge so it cools down a little bit. And there you have it. Honestly, game changer, guys. Start making your drinks at home because it saves money. Also, it saves calories. Like I asked them in Costa, there was actually this, when I was in prep, right, I have eyes for everything when I'm in prep. And I really wanted this like hazelnut creme, like frappe kind of a drink. I love like hazelnut, coconut, anything like that, right? And I was asking them how many calories is in it, just as a matter of interest, and I think it was something like 400 or 500 calories for the drink. I was like, yeah, no, I'm all right. That's a meal. That's a full-on meal. And people are ordering this and then they're wondering why they're not losing weight. That's why. Because you're drinking your calories. And one thing I don't like doing is drinking my calories. Now, this in total will be something like, because I'll put in almond milk, right? So this almond milk for 250 mils is 44 calories. I'm not going to use 250 mils. So I'll probably do like 125. So that'll be 20 calories. There's 40 calories then in the hot chocolate. 60 something calories for an iced mocha. Mocha? I'm still not sure. What is going on? It is a few days later. I do apologise, but I was gonna go through my upper session, but whenever I upload my lower body sessions, so like my glute and hamstring days, onto say like Instagram, I get a lot of questions. So I said that I would actually just go through my lower body day, glute and hamstrings, here, and I'll pop the clips in like somewhere around here. So this was from Monday. So the day before I did the upper body session, essentially. So first up we have a glute med kickback. So this is to hit the upper portion of the glute. So I set this up in the exact same way that I would set up like a standard kickback, but you'll see right, I'm not bringing the leg straight back like you would for a normal kickback. I'm actually bringing the leg out at like a diagonal. So that's going to hit the upper and outer portion of the glute. What I think about for this is keeping my hips down. So you'll notice as I kick the leg back, I also don't think about kicking the leg up. I think about like dragging the leg behind me. Well, out the way from me. I'm not letting the hips rotate. You want to make sure that your hips are facing the cable. That's the same for standard kickback and for a glute med kickback. If your hip is rotating, it's taking the tension away from the glutes. So you want to just make sure that your hips are pointing down. So I think about the working leg, hip, facing in towards the cable, and dragging the leg out, squeezing, and then slow on the way back in. I almost think like you'll also see like my foot position. I have my toes slightly rotated out. That is to again allow for that leg to come out the way. Then we go into an abduction. I've started using the gluteator again. So I've started to use the gluteator again for my sessions. I look so fucking ugly when I do these, but however, the seatbelt isn't functioning as a seatbelt on this machine, so it does make it harder to keep yourself locked into the machine. But one big mistake that I see with a lot of people that use this, that they're using way too much load, first of all, right? I think I have like 2 5s on this. I think the max I ever got up to was like 15 per side. But you don't want to let the pelvis rotate forwards, which is very hard because you do get pulled out of the machine, especially when there's no seatbelt. So you'll see I'm actually like pushing against the machine to stay in it, but I'm also really working on trying to hold the contraction. So when you bring the legs out, that's also where it's at its heaviest. And I like the gluteator because with a normal abduction, like an abductor machine, the legs just go like from here to here, whereas this goes like out the way, so it really gets into like that upper and outer portion of the glute. You do have to go really light with this, and you do have to take your time. I see a lot of people just swinging the weight up and down. Like, this looks like I'm going very fast, but in my head this feels very slow. I'm really trying to not let my pelvis rotate and actually just hold on contraction. It's hard to do. It is very, very hard to do, especially when there's no seatbelt. But in this off season, I want to do the exercises that I don't really like doing, basically. Next up we have barbell hip thrust. I've avoided these before because the setup. I'm not gonna lie, it's all because of the setup. It takes time, it is effort, but one thing that I was starting to notice was coming out of the glute drive, I was getting such a quad pump. Now, a hip thrust is a compound movement. You are going to feel other muscles work. The glutes, the hamstrings, your core, your quads, you know, like that is going to happen. But for me, my quads are quite a bit stronger than my glutes. And the glutes are the main focus for this off season. So I've stripped the weight right back, and I'm using the barbell, because when I tried it, I just found that it was less on the quads and I could feel more of my glutes. Now, I'm not saying that you should only train for sensation, but that's just what I've found. And also, again, like I was saying about the gluteator, I've shied away from it because it's hard, because it's awkward to set up. This off season, I want to do things that are difficult. You'll notice as well, a lot of people might be like, oh my god, you're not using full range of motion. You don't need to use a massive amount of range of motion. For the hip thrust, you want to make sure that the shins stay vertical, that you're keeping your ribs like stacked over your pelvis as you come down, and then you're squeezing at the top. So you're really following through with the hips, but you're not hyper extending at the top, okay? I'm also not letting my knees turn out at the top, because that's when I find that my quads do start to take over, is when my knees start to rotate out. This is actually the heaviest that I've done on this. I think this is 120 kilos in total, which I'm really happy with. I do want to start, yes, adding a little bit more load to it, but I want to make sure that the connection stays good and that my form stays good and tempo and everything like that. I did start to find that my quads were kind of taking over a little bit on this, so what I did was I just finished the set. I just logged it and finished it there. Next up we have the leg press. I'm laughing because I got very fucking greedy with the weight, okay? So this was 4 plates per side. I know some people might be like, oh my god, like that's not even that heavy. For me, that's very heavy, okay? So with this, I definitely went too heavy. And the reason that I know this is I remember the set and I thought that I was going to fucking die when I was on it. But also, I didn't find it was as controlled. So you'll notice, right, as I start to bring my legs towards me, there should be a pause. There's not really a pause. I just got a bit afraid, to be honest. Like, the first few reps were fine. I won't lie, like, the first few, yeah, there was a little bit of a pause, and then I just started to, yeah, it was very heavy for me. I also find it really hard to hold myself in this machine. But it was like, it was an alright set, but for my standards, I would like this a little bit tidier. I will touch this weight again. I'll probably get a spotter, because I just get afraid. I'm not gonna sit here and say anything else. I get afraid, and when the weight is that heavy for me. So I do think that had I have had a spotter, I probably would have slowed down the reps a little bit more. Because the next set I'll show you, it was definitely much better. It was a lot tidier, I found. I had a lot more control, even though it's only 5 kilo, I was going to say €5, 5 kilo lighter on each side, so 10 kilo overall. It made a big difference, and I just found like I was able to control it a little bit more. Now, I was a little bit dead after the first set, so this is technically like my back off set, but I was much happier with the level of control that I had. I think I matched the reps as well to the previous set, which I was decently happy with for it being the second set, and for it only being 10 kilos lighter than the original set. But you can see like my legs shaking. Yeah, the leg press just ruins me. I don't know why, it just does. I think because my legs are long, so it's like such a distance to travel. But again, this is all glute focused, so you'll see like there isn't as much knee flexion because I'm trying to keep everything in the glutes. Again, this is a compound. You are going to work the quads, you are going to work the hamstrings, you are going to work the calves. It's unavoidable, but we want to bias the glutes as much as we can. We have a glute press through. So with this, I used to struggle to like feel my glutes on this, and it was definitely because my quad was taken over. So what I've actually started to do is I've allowed my foot to come a little bit more forwards so that my heel is directly underneath the knee. And instead of me thinking about dropping straight down, I'm thinking about like drawing a semicircle and then a little bit back, if that makes any sense. So the idea is to keep the knee at a 90-degree angle, and then draw on that semicircle and then squeezing at the bottom. I do really like these. Again, it just takes a lot of concentration. So I think about at the top, stretch, like the glute being in a stretched position. I always think about the muscle that I'm working. So I think about the glute being in a stretched position, and I think about drawing that semicircle, but using the under part of my glute, so like the glute ham tie-in area, to drag the weight down and then a little bit back, and as I bring it back, squeezing the glute. I do really like these. I do really like these. I like that there's different variations of kickbacks in my plan now. Something I'm not very good at is any single leg work. So guess what we're doing this off season? A lot of fucking single leg work. And then I had a little posy pose. I need to start bringing my shoes into the gym again. But I am considering bringing buying the lower shoes. So I currently wear the Cocktail 508s, and they are very comfortable, but this is a 5-inch heel. I'm 5'5", borderline 5'6", depending on the day, and my legs are quite long and they do start to look a little bit stringy. Also, I don't wear heels. I'm not a heel wearing girl. Like, on a night out, can't remember the last night out I was even on, but on a night out I would never wear heels. I'd always wear like runners. I know, I'm such a tomboy, you guys. But yeah, so wearing heels for me just isn't something that comes naturally to me. I originally started wearing the higher shoe because coming in conditioned was used to be an issue for me, whereas this year it wasn't. We were too conditioned, but I just feel that going for a 4-inch heel might be more beneficial for me. So I'm still contemplating getting the 4-inch. The reason I'm contemplating it is 2 reasons. So one is the platform is lower. So it means that there is more pressure on the balls of your feet, which I'm not a fan of. Whereas when you've got the platform, it kind of evens it out a little bit more in terms of the pressure that goes onto the ball of the foot. But also the sole. So so like the inside of the shoe now. These are manky, right? But these are suede, like a kind of a suede on the inside. So when your feet start to sweat, or if you get a bit of like the glaze or whatever on them, your toes aren't going to slide out of the shoe, which I have had before. And like literally, like I'd get my stage photos back and my toes are like this over the side of the shoe, and it's just nasty. Whereas the other ones, I know that the inside of them is more slippy. But also, in terms of cost, so the ones that I'm thinking, they're from the Shoe Fairy. I think they're working out as like nearly €200, and then I know I'm going to get charged customs on them as well. So it's just a lot of money to pay for something that I don't know if I'm actually going to like. But also then, if I'm wearing them practicing and stuff like that, I'm not going to be on stage until next year. But I do want to stay on top of my posing so that when I get into prep, it's not a case that I have to come up with like a new routine or anything like that. It's just kind of tweaking it then in accordance to how my physique looks. But I'm also like, are the straps gonna be broken by that time? So there's a lot of things for me to kind of to weigh out. I might just stick with the 5-inch ones for now, and then when I get closer to stage or to prep, I might then invest. I don't know, guys. What do you think? What do you think is the best thing to do? Let me know. But yeah, they're all the updates that I have. I want to keep this video relatively short. I feel like I say that all the time and it's never actually short. But let me know what you guys want me to run through with yous next. The next video I would say is probably going to be me getting ready for the photo shoot. Because I am 8 days out. Yeah, 8 days out from my photo shoot, which is exciting. I'm going to do my own hair, my own tan, my own makeup. As per usual, I'm probably going to use Pro Tan. I'm thinking, but I'm not sure if I'm going to use the top coat. I think I'll just do like the base coat and just have myself super dark. I do also need to try on those outfits to make sure that they actually fit, because 8 days and living out in the sticks, I've left it very, very, very close if these outfits don't fit. Outfits, I say very loosely because they're just pieces of fabric. But anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.